Hey guys, it is the 9th of July. We survived Tuesday. Well, I don't know because we're supposed to get some pretty good storms, I think. And Slinky, I am so glad that you have electricity and you're doing great. I know that the storm was, well, it looked terrifying, to be honest. I don't do well without air conditioning. In Texas, that's a no go for me, y'all. Just a no go. We have a Yes, I actually did, Alice G. So, if you were on the fence about going to Inside Out 2, I will say that it was a really well done movie. It didn't have a whole lot of, social warrior, anything kind of culture war stuff. I mean, there were little signs. If you really wanted to nitpick, you could pick some things out, but it actually showed a really good visual illustrative. It captured a panic attack very well, and I think it really was a good movie. Like, if you have teenagers, I'm just saying go because, oh my goodness. It was actually a pretty good movie, and I was shocked because Disney has been rolling out absolute turd fests for a while. Our first story is, well, I didn't have this on my bingo card, but Supreme Court Justice Sotomayor's bodyguards, well, they try to get a freedom seed into a would-be carjacker outside her home. You know, nothing says security like the our Supreme Court justices having carjackings right outside their homes. But Washington, D.C. is safe, I am told by all the talking heads. So I will not believe my lying eyes. Two deputy U.S. Marshals shot a would-be carjacker who pulled a force multiplier on him while they were guarding the Supreme Court Justice Sonia Sotomayor's home in Washington, D.C., authorities said. The marshals were placed outside Sotomayor's home in Northwest DC on July 5th when Cantrell Flowers, 18, allegedly walked up to one of their cars around 1:15 a.m., pointed a force multiplier at one of the federal agents, which, hey, I mean, that is FAFO. You can't teach stupid sometimes. Some people just have to FAFO. It's just, it's a learning curve, and some people must run directly into the daggone wall to get the point. The US Marshals, oh, sorry, already read that part. One of the federal agents drew his firearm and put a couple freedom seeds downwind of the suspect, with a second officer also, releasing freedom seeds. Flowers of Southeast DC was arrested and treated at the local hospital for non-life-threatening injuries. I'm glad that he was not hurt as well, because if you are a service member, I think taking a life would be something very hard to get over. And, the guilt you would face, even if you were faced with a very dangerous situation and you had seconds to make that choice, I can imagine it weighs on you for life. The justice was not home at the time of the carjacking, according to a source. Metropolitan police detectives are investigating the shooting and uncovered a semi automatic force multiplier from the scenes. The deputy U.S. Marshals involved in the shooting incident were part of a unit protecting the residence of the U.S. Supreme Court justices, the U.S. Marshals announced in a statement. The teenage suspect was charged with armed carjacking, carrying a pistol without a license, and possession of a large capacity magazine. The U.S. Marshal's Office and Metropolitan Police Department declined to elaborate further on the case, which remains under investigation. This is just the latest in a series of high-profile carjackings of federal agents and VIPs in the nation's capital. Good evening, Cynthia Fire Fairy 42, my mama. Wolfram, thank you for doing all the mod stuff. Alice G, good evening. Slinky, Captain Kern, and Christine, I hope you are having a lovely evening. Let's see. Last year, Secret Service agents assigned to President Biden's granddaughter, Naomi, opened fire on a group of people attempting to break into an unmarked Secret Service car. Officials said the agents found three people attempting to enter the parked car at Naomi's Georgetown neighborhood just before midnight on November 12th. In January, former Trump administration official Mike Gill was fatally wounded by a carjacker as he sat in his vehicle on K Street at about 5:45 p.m. Y'all, I'm telling you, when I become president, I'm making dueling fields. And, I just, some people are just going to FAFO, do all of your stupid shenanigans in the field. If you do it out in my town or in my country without the fields, you're going to Snake Island. I really have no more patience. Snake Island as a punishment. In sad news, Joe Bonzel, celebrated tenor in country and gospel group the Oak Ridge Boys, has died at 76. My mom loves them, so I know she's probably not having a real good night. She takes celebrity deaths pretty hard for some reason. Y'all, I literally got in trouble when Princess Diana died, and I was like, "Why are you crying? You don't know her." Good evening, Haktui girl. You are, welcome to be my other running mate if Bigfoot doesn't show up, because I think Mo for president, hand jobs and Haktui for everyone. I'm just thinking. I think we have a marketable idea there. But let's get back to the news. Joe Bonsall, Grammy Award winner and celebrated tenor of the country and gospel group the Oak Ridge Boys, died Tuesday. He was 76. Bonsall died from complications of neuromuscular disorder, uh, amyotrophic lateral sclerosis, according to a statement from representatives of his family. Joe loved to sing. He loved to read. He loved to write, a statement read. He loved to play banjo. He loved working on the farm. He also loved the Philadelphia Phillies, but Jesus and his family always came first, and we will see him again on the promised day. A Philadelphia native and resident of Hendersonville, Tennessee, Bonsall left his gospel group, the Ketones, in 1973 to join the Oak Ridge Boys, which originally formed in the 1940s. He saw the band through its golden period in the 80s and beyond, which included its signature 1981 song, Elvira, and the 1982 hit Bobby Sue, and the 1983 American Made. Elvira marked a massive crossover moment for the group, reaching #1 on the country charts and #5 on the Billboard's all-genre Hot 100. Amyotrophic lateral sclerosis, or ALS, is a disease that damages nerve cells and connections that are necessary to control muscles for movements such as walking, talking, and breathing. Most patients pass away within 3 to 5 years of the diagnosis. The illness became known as Lou Gehrig's disease after the baseball player was diagnosed in 1939. In September 2023, the Oak Ridge Boys embarked on a farewell tour that was scheduled to last into 2024. But in January, Bonsall announced his retirement from touring, saying it was just too difficult for him physically after a 4-year battle with ALS. Ben James, who has performed with Doyle Lawson and Daly and Vincent, was announced as his replacement. I'm now at the point where walking is impossible, so I've basically retired from the road. It's just gotten too difficult, Bonsall said at the time of his retirement. It's been a great 50 years, and I'm thankful to all the Oak Ridge Boys, band, crew, staff, for the constant love and support shown to me through all of it. I will never forget, and for those of you who have been constantly holding me up in prayer, I thank you and ask you to continue praying. Good evening, Slinky and Squid Pro Quo and Audio Coffee. Let's see here. In June 2022, Bonsall shared on X, formerly Twitter, that he could have easily died after suffering pulmonary embolisms. His memoir, I See Myself, will be released posthumously in November. It's his 11th book, a collection of which includes a 4-part children's series, The Molly Books. During his 5 decades with the Oak Ridge Boys, Bonsall was a member of the Grand Ole Opry. He was inducted into the Philadelphia Music Hall of Fame, the Gospel Music Hall of Fame, and the Vocal Group Hall of Fame, the Country Music Hall of Fame. He's just in all the Hall of Fames. If there is a Hall of Fame, he is there. Thank you so much, for all the support and the positive feedback. I'm just out here doing me. Well, with wigs and stuff. For 50 years, Jones Bonsall was the Oak Ridge Boys' spark plug. He was exciting performer as any who ever hit the gospel or country stage. Kyle Young, CEO of Country Music Hall of Fame and Museum, said in a written statement, his tenor voice was high and clear, and his jovial spirit always provided a jolt of energy, immediately arousing audience to come on in and take a load off. He certainly lightened our cares every time he sang. John Rich of country music duo Big and Rich shared a remembrance on X. Country music is crying today, he wrote. Joe is a real friend and someone I looked up to not only as an artist, but as a man. He left a legacy of incredible music and endless accounts of his kind-heartedness. Country musician Travis Tritt also posted a tribute to Bonsall on X. Joe had amazing talent and a wonderful personality, and he will be missed terribly by everyone who knew him. Bonsall is survived by his wife Marianne, daughters Jennifer and Sabrina, sister Nancy, granddaughter Brianne, grandson Luke, and great-grandsons Chance and Gray. Good evening, Jude and Phoenix Fire. So, it sounds like he had a deep, rich, and wonderful tapestry of a life. And, what a legacy to leave with all those books that, his grandchildren can read and maybe get to know the man that they never got to meet or weren't old enough to meet. So just what a cool thing, what a cool legacy. Sometimes you find your dream home, but your neighbor's a bit of a nightmare. Let's see if I can get oh, here we go. An LA family's dream home turns into a nightmare over a neighbor's makeshift junkyard. Quote, "We are trapped here." No, y'all, this is called a flamethrower and a dumpster. Mo don't play. You do not mess with my property values, okay? Look, this is my retirement house, all right? We aren't playing with that kind of stuff. A Los Angeles family dream home is slowly becoming a cluttered nightmare as their next door neighbor has morphed his sprawling 6-acre property into a hazardous junkyard. Elena Malone said she and her husband had fallen in love with their 3-bedroom home in Sun Valley when they purchased the $1.2 million property. That house is probably 400 square feet, and they had to spend $1 million. Y'all, there is a reason I will never live in California. Well, there's like 54 reasons, but look, I am too cheap. Finding it to be the perfect spot to raise their 2 children, KTLA reported. However, the place she once believed was safe for their kids changed when their next-door neighbor's junk collection multiplied, with burnt car batteries, bags of trash, debris, and moldy clothes, even medical waste piling up outside the family's front gate. An aerial photo of the property taken by KTLA shows dozens of vehicles, large appliances like refrigerators, and even a shipping container cluttered together so densely it appears impossible to navigate them. The area's proneness to wildfire most worries the mother of 2, especially with fire season approaching. Good good evening, Kiwi Green. Sorry, Mr. Mo is trying to get me to laugh, so he's dancing like a ridiculous person in the background because, he's just I love my husband, but he seems to think that, being amorous is equal to being annoyingest. He's like, "It's my love language." And I'm like, "Well, I'm gonna need bail money." Back to the story. If there is a fire, we can't get out of our front gate. We are trapped here, Malone told the outlet. Latuna Canyon, a hiking. I'm going to have to send this to Baker because Latuna Canyon, We're gonna make her take the, tuna can, and we're gonna make it Tuna Canyon. Oh my god. A hiking trail within Sun Valley has been notoriously prone to wildfires. In 2017, La Tuna fire spread over 7,000 acres, 11 square miles, making it the largest Los Angeles wildfire in 50 years. Oddly enough, that fire may be responsible for the Malone's family problem with their hoarding neighbor. The property owner, Mary Ferreira, whose son David Ferreira lives at the makeshift junkyard, told the LA Times that when the fires destroyed most of the property in 2017, her son's hoarding turned into a mess the neighborhood is dealing with today. He began scavenging metal to survive, which may have triggered or worsened his hoarding, the 80-year-old retired schoolteacher told the outlet. He's getting ready to go upstairs to do stuff. I'll have to get him on one of these days. But yeah, usually when I'm trying to do the news, he is trying to do something goofy on the other side to make me laugh because, like, I need one more distraction. I can make my own tangents. We think that the trauma of all this, possibly some unresolved past trauma, led to his acquisition of more and more things to replace what was lost, Mary Ferreira wrote. Prior to the Malone family moving in next door, an anonymous tipster in 2020 accused the property owner of running an unlicensed junkyard, according to the LA Times. That year, multiple government agencies conducted surveys of the land, especially since one claim accused the Ferreras of dumping chemical drums into its stream, the LAPD told the outlet. The EPA counted 114 vehicles on the property that year, five of which were deemed of interest by the California Highway Patrol and could have possibly been stolen or involved in a crime. Even more concerning, the EPA found that the soil had high levels of arsenic, lead, cobalt, and other substances that exceeded federal safety standards. They declared the makeshift junkyard contained high levels of hazardous substances. I wonder if they had to disclose that to the buyers of the neighboring property, the people that are very upset, because this seems like something that the realtor or the sellers would have to tell them, like, look, it's a lovely, lovely house. And, we did all we have shiplap just every which way. We got, Joanna Gaines right here. But by the way, and just to let you know, there is a hazardous dump about 2 feet away from you, but everything is okay. And we've got, I mean, how do you sell that one? And they still had to pay 100 or no, $1.2 million to live next to a essentially, a place where Aaron Brockovich is going to wear a push-up bra to take, the man to justice. Good Lord Almighty. In 2021, the EPA report called for excavating and disposing of the contaminated soil, but Mary Ferreira told the outlet that the agency dropped us like a hot potato, and they haven't heard from them in 3 years, according to LA Times. Good evening, Debbie Morin, and Audio Coffee. If I didn't say good evening to you, good evening again. David Ferreira, 50, has lived rent-free at the makeshift junkyard after his mother took over the deed in 2014 because he was not making payments on the land. Mary Ferreira says she understands that she's an enabler, but she can't force him to leave because she loves her son too much to kick him to the curb. It's an addiction, she told the LA Times about her son's hoarding problems. Look, here's the deal. I have a problem with sugar. That's like me, saying, "Hey, it's okay. I'm just having 2 Snickers a day." That's like me saying, "Hey, I really shouldn't eat sweets," and you hand me a thing of brownies. This is not helping. He needs help. This is some kind of trauma response, and he needs to deal with it. Now, this is totally me being a hypocrite because y'all know I don't want to talk about my feelings and my past, but I also am not hoarding, 72 Corvairs on cement blocks in my backyard. So I'm doing okay. I use sarcasm to adapt, and I feel like I'm doing all right. However, for Malone, the addiction is affecting her family's life and was made worse when her husband, Josh, was diagnosed with cancer. So this is their house. Well, that's, I guess, their driveway. All this and then this is their house. So they have a fence and then all this random BS right there. My husband just finished treatment for cancer, she told KTLA. I was stuck behind this gate when he was undergoing chemotherapy, getting sick, and I couldn't get out to go pick him up because there was a car there. Malone said that after that incident, she turned to city officials to resolve the issue, but has yet to see any real progress. LAPD says we don't go on the property because it's hazardous waste. EPA says we're only concerned with what's under the property and we can't go on it because there's too many vehicles. So until the city of LA clears it, we won't go on the property. She worries that progress on cleaning up the hazardous clutter will only come after something tragic happens. All those agencies have failed our family and the whole community. I mean it. It feels like at this point, they're just waiting for the next fire. This is just terrible. I hope that, look, he is obviously dealing with something very, very difficult and he's holding on to things. He needs help. He needs some tough love and he needs to work on his stuff. And, unfortunately, that means that maybe the state has to get involved, but the state seems to be dysfunctional as per usual. So, if you bought any of these, you might want to take them to the trash can. Mushroom chocolates gummies are recalled across multiple states because they were linked to hospitalizations and illnesses. A California company has recalled its mushroom-infused chocolates and sweets containing a chemical not approved for food by the U.S. Food and Drug Administration. Consumption of the recalled Profit Premium Blends Diamond Shrooms products have been associated with a series of illnesses across the more than 20 states and one possible related death, according to the FDA. The agency announced last week that as of July 1st, a total of 48 illnesses had been reported from 24 states. Quote, at Profit Premium Blends, we prioritize the safety and health of our customers beyond all else, the Santa Ana company wrote in a statement on its website. Recently, we've been made aware of some reported incidents involving our product, Diamond Shrooms, due to consumers becoming ill after consuming an entire chocolate. You're not supposed to eat an entire doggone chocolate bar when it is infused with psychedelic mushrooms. I mean, I am a straight-laced, you know, craziness. I'm a straight-laced goody two-shoes, but even I know you don't eat the whole doggone bar. I mean, it's not a Hershey bar. People are dumb. People are dumb. I bet it says on the package, do not eat more than one bar or one, little chocolate piece or ease yourself into it. See, this is what happens. We have things and then people are dumb and then we don't have things. Let's see here. It contains high levels of mucimol. It's a critical that our customers refrain from ingesting the product while we, alongside the FDA, continue investigation into the cause of these serious adverse effects. As of the time of publication, the company had ceased production and distribution of all Diamond Shrooms products. What is muscimol? Well, it's probably something I'm mispronouncing, but according to the National Library of Medicine, it is a member of a class of something or other. It's from the genus of mushrooms, Amanita. Details of mushroom chocolate and gummy recall. Profit Premium Blends first announced the recall on June 27 for all flavors of its Diamond Shrooms products, including its infused cones, microdosing chocolate bars, both micro and mega dose extreme gummies, because they contained this product or this ingredient. Which the company and government agencies said could be the potential cause for the related illnesses reported by customers. So if you have any of these, do not take them because, badness. Muscimol can be a potential cause of symptoms consistent with those observed in people that got ill after eating diamond shrooms products. Reported symptoms have included those linked to seizures, agitation, involuntary muscle contractions, loss of consciousness, confusion, sleepiness, nausea, vomiting, abnormal heart rates, and hyper or hypotension. ABC News medical correspondent Dr. Darren Sutton explained that the chemical derived from some mushrooms can be incredibly toxic at certain doses. The problem is that the dosage is not exact, so many people are exposed to toxic levels and just don't know, Sutton said. These supplements have little to no FDA regulation. According to FDA investigation into foodborne illnesses, which began earlier in June, the products were previously available online and in person at a variety of retail locations nationwide, including smoke and vape shops, as well as retailers that sell hemp derived products such as Delta 8 and THC. Customers should not eat, sell, or serve any flavor of Diamond Shrooms brand. So you get the you get the point. You're not supposed to eat these things. Um, Audio coffee. If you split the loot, I'm there. Okay, just don't tell nobody except the whole internets. J but these people ate a doggone whole bar. I mean, even I am smart enough to know not to do that, and I'm a goody two-shoes that barely does anything. Doggone it. Alright, now this next story, whoever did this is going straight to Lord Chippy. He is nuclear powered now. He is right next to Snake Island because we are having none of this. You will not leave Friberto's brother in the park with zip ties around his mouth and neck. We will find this person and punish him. Well, look, I'm just saying if Gen Pop justice happens, I ain't gonna be crying. If he happens, just to get a little, in trouble because he hurt a doggo, I'm okay with it allegedly in Minecraft. An investigation is underway after rock climbers in a remote area of Southern California reportedly found an abandoned dog with zip ties around its muzzle and neck last week. Los Angeles County Department of Animal Care and Control officials said the dog, a 7-year-old male German Shepherd, was found the evening of July 3rd in Malibu Creek Canyon. Animal control officers reported that the climbers found the dog about 250 feet down the side of a road in Agora Hills. The location where the hikers discovered the German Shepherd is just over 30 miles west of downtown LA. The circumstances in which this dog was found were horrific and an affront to human decency and our role as responsible stewards to our pets, said the DACC director, Marcia Medea. DACC thanks the Good Samaritans who found this poor creature and want to assure the public he's getting all the care he needs as we investigated how this crime occurred. This good doggo needs all the bacons, and all the hugs. Look, he looks so sad. Oh my gosh, he looks like Fry's older sad brother. If y'all saw Homeward Bound, this dog is Shadow, okay? Now, Fry was Chance, and now Dingus is Sassy, but also, y'all, I know I am off topic today. It's been a long day, but Dingus is part werewolf. I have just Wolfram Dingus has started his dark side Sith Lord because Dingus stole an entire daggone slice of pizza from me. I had to use the restroom. I thought I put the plate high enough. No, that little turdlet stole an entire daggone pizza and then ran off, and he's faster than me, even though I am learning to shuffle jog. Tag on it. One of the climbers who found the dog told KTLA TV that they were able to gain the dog's trust long enough to remove the zip tie from its mouth, and he allowed my friend and I to pet him, and he gently ate our food out of our hands. Good evening, Christine, and welcome, Distant. According to a news release from DACC, law enforcement was investigating who put zip ties on the animal and how long the dog had been bound and who it belonged to. According to the release, Malibu Search and Rescue responded to the scene and found the dog stranded in a ravine, and the climbers called authorities. Rescue rescuers cut more zip ties off the animal at the scene and transported it to the Agora Hills Animal Shelter. The release continues. Officials reported the dog was taken to Palmdale Animal Care Center for medical treatment. He just looks so sad. He needs a bacons. All the bacons and all the cheeses. He just needs it. A veterinarian determined the dog was suffering from inflammation and had been exposed to poison oak, found warts and skin tags on its stomach, groin, and other places, KTLA TV reported. According to LA Animal Care and Control listing, the officials named the dog Aragon. Aragon weighs about 80 pounds, and on Monday, the listing showed had been transported back to the Agora Animal Care Center. As of Tuesday, he was not immediately available for adoption. In Defense of Animals, an animal rights advocacy group based in San Rafael, said a reward is being offered by the agency and a nonprofit Peace for Animals for information leading to the person that abandoned the animal. The amount increased from $2,500 to $7,600 this week. We are grateful for the quick action of these hikers and law enforcement, but our efforts must continue, Dawes said. Aragon was left to suffer and pass away in a remote location. We urge anyone with information about this cruel act to come forward. We are determined to find the person responsible for this horrific abuse and hold them accountable. Look, y'all, I am just telling you, people like doggos more than they like people. You do something to a doggo, you better just run, hide, and get into a dark hole, okay? Unfortunately, he may be suffering from lymphoma, Dawes announced in an update Tuesday, adding that Aragon was undergoing tests. Anyone with information about the case is asked to contact Los Angeles law enforcement or animal control. Good evening, Q. In other news, you might be seeing this flavor everywhere, but why? Orange cream is everywhere. Why the nostalgic flavor is making a comeback. The classic flavor combination of oranges and cream has once again hit the mainstream. August 14th is National Creamsicle Day, an unofficial food holiday where people are encouraged to celebrate the orange and cream flavored frozen treat that comes to you in a toilet wrapper or a toilet roll, cardboard thing. I always thought that was the funniest thing. I was like, why are we eating out of essentially, the cardboard toilet roll, core? But y'all have to admit, those push pops were awesome. The nostalgic dessert is nearly a century old, and now its iconic profile of flavors has recently experienced a bloom in popularity, showing up in more places than just the ice cream truck. According to Popsicle, the brand's first frozen treat was invented by mistake in 1905 when 11-year-old Frank Epperson left a cup of powdered soda and water outside overnight with a stirring stick still in it. The next morning, the boy found the frozen treat, gave it a taste, and subsequently dubbed it an Epsicle. Years later, his children urged him to change the name to Popsicle. Decades later, in 1937, after Epperson sold the treats right to Joe Lowell Company, the popsicle brand started offering the creamsicle. The rest was orangey cream history. Later iterations of the icy citrus and milky vanilla treat included Orange Julius as well as Flintstone Cool Cream Push-Up Pops. Now there's a ton of competition in the nostalgic flavor category. Caitlin McLean is the head of sensory quality for Americas at MMR Research, a global consumer and research agency that works with brands to optimize look, feel, and taste of their products. Could we work on just having the ice cream machines work at McDonald's? Seriously, I'm just asking for a friend, but could we finally get a McDonald's that we don't have to go every freaking which way to see if the ice cream machine works? Because maybe you promised feral children they could get an ice cream if they were good somewhere. Because holy fazolies, I am getting ticked off about that. She tells Today.com she knows a new craze is set to begin when many clients come across multiple categories and come into looking to get on the same trend. In the case of orange creamsicle, we've seen it across food and beverage, but also skincare, so it has a broader reach, McLean said, adding that the particular trend has passed the emergence stage and now hitting the social media stage. Oh, dear God. It could be an influencer that's presenting or a company that themselves that might be sharing a particularly viral video, McLean says. Then it emerges with more popularity and products become available within that trend. You can see them take off. This summer and spring has seen several orange and cream flavored treats take over the freezer section. Back in March, Wendy's dropped its limited time Orange Dreamsicle Frosty, followed by Carnival's revival of its 1970s Born Dream or Orange Dreamy Cream flavor in April. Even Sonic has an orange cloudsicle slush faux on the menu. This summer has seen the standard ice cream brands like Tillamook, Turkey Hill, and Friendly's stock their own versions of the flavor too, according to experts. This callback to a bygone era is no mistake. We're looking for something as a society that's still going to allow us to feel comforted with familiar flavors that might give us a bit of nostalgia, McLean said, adding that the panorama accelerated people's need for comfort, and that nostalgia is often a perfect vehicle. While you may think chocolate cake is probably pretty indulgent, thinking of fruit and cream together, if we're thinking about it at the most basic level, that's a healthier dessert. I still choose the brownie, y'all. So there you go. They even have coffee creamer now, which I think sounds absolutely disgusting. But y'all do you. If you would like orange creamsicle in, your coffee, have fun with that. That just it sounds absolutely grotesque to me. But I have the palate of a 3-year-old. So y'all know it's chicken fingers or nothing for me with a side of ranch. I do have the palate of a 13 or a 13-month-old, I swear. In disgusting, and let's get Lord Chippy out again because oh my gosh, he's going to be busy, allegedly in Minecraft. But allegedly, the lawyer for the mega church pastor blamed the 12-year-old victim for initiating the contact. It was her fault, y'all. Just an absolutely disgusting human being. And I no, straight to Lord Chippy, not even Snake Island, y'all, allegedly in Minecraft. In 1982, let's get a picture of this absolute douche canoe. Allegedly, of course, he has not been convicted. He only signed an NDA that basically makes him pretty guilty, but allegedly for legal purposes. In 1982, Pastor Robert Morris was a 21-year-old husband and father who had traveled the country telling young people about Jesus. Cindy Clemshire was a 12-year-old girl who dressed in flowery pink pajamas and still liked to play with Barbie dolls. On Christmas that year, Morris, who would go on to found Gateway Church in Southlake, Texas, became a leading figure in the American evangelical movement, began what he would later describe as an inappropriate, no, abuse. Abuse. Let's just go with abuse, sir. It's not inappropriate conduct. It's not a little light touching. It's abuse. You disgusting human being. Allegedly. Don't come after me. You have enough problems, sir. With Clemshire while he was staying at her parents' home in Oklahoma. Clemshire said Morris told her to come see him in his room before bed. She was the type of girl who listened to instructions from trusted adults. But 25 years later, when Clemshire hired an attorney and threatened to sue Morris, accusing him of repeated SA as a child, a lawyer representing Morris responded by blaming Clemshire for what happened to her, according to a 2007 correspondence obtained by NBC News. Quote, "It was your client," wrote lawyer J. Shelby Sharp, "the absolute dingleberry on the butt of humanity, and you're disgusting for even writing this." Referring to Clemshire at the age of 12, who initiated. So this is what he wrote. This is a quote. Quote, "It was your client who initiated inappropriate behavior by coming into my client's bedroom and getting into bed with him, as she was told." which my client should not have allowed to happen. Yeah, it's her fault. Give me a break. Snake, you know what? Straight into the center of a black hole, 'cause it's gonna spaghettify him for forever. The lawyer and this dude, I'm about done with this. In the February 6, 2007 letter was one of a series of exchanges that year between Sharp and Gunter Drummond, a lawyer who represented Clemshire at the time. Clemshire said in an interview last week she had been seeking $50,000 in restitution from Morris to cover the cost of counseling. Morris, through his lawyer, instead offered to pay $25,000, but the talks fell apart. Clemshire said because she was not willing to sign a non disclosure agreement. Drummond, who is now Oklahoma's Attorney General, confirmed Clemshire's description of the 2007 negotiations and declined to comment further. Reached by phone Monday, Sharp said he had no recollection of the $25,000 settlement offer or NDA demand, and he no longer represents Morris. He denied knowing at the time that Clemshire had been a child when Morris began abusing her. However, the initial correspondence Drummond sent to him stated clearly that Clemshire was 12 years old when the abuse began. I don't remember ever reading that, Sharp told a reporter. Okay. Oh, hell no. You know what? This is like Hillary Clinton when she was laughing because she got that chomo, you know, out of things. And she's like, we fooled everyone. This is so gross. How? How can a person, and I know everyone has different morals, but how can a person not stand up to protect a child? I don't get it. I really, really don't. And I try not to I I try to understand that people have different perspectives, but it's child, it's an innocent child. And yes, Wolfram is the best mod ever. He does such a great job, and I appreciate it so very much. Well, he's a douche canoe. I hope they both go straight to the sun, allegedly in Minecraft and or Gen Pop Justice. I'm just saying, one of these days, it's gotta work out. Allegedly in Minecraft also as well, TM. In other news, well, I don't know if you had this on your bingo card, but apparently the blind mystic Baba Yaga says that the end of times will commence in 2025. So I guess I can go ahead and eat those Mike and Ikes because it's not going to matter. Just kidding, y'all. Don't listen to this, but here we go. This is what's supposed to be happen. Is it the end of the world as we know it, or is it Baba Yaga, also known as Vangelica Pendiv Goroshtova, the blind Bulgarian clairvoyant, widely known for her alleged powers of precognition? Okay, ma'am, do you know where I put the charger to my laptop? Because I've been looking and past Mo thought that future Mo would remember where I put it, but I ain't got a clue, okay? So Baba Yaga, if you could just help me with, finding my laptop power charger, that would be great. Thank you so much. Thank you in advance. The so-called Nostradamus of the Balkans is referenced to the famous French astrologer, is said to have predicted 9/11 and the war in Ukraine per The Sun. You mean you took a lot of information, put it together, and stated the obvious? I mean, not that I'm doubting you, Baba Yaga, but I still haven't found my power cord. The mystic healer died in 1996. Well, she can't help me with my power cord now, I guess. But the psychic's followers still await some of the predictions she made before her death. In fact, some reports have claimed that Venya warned that the world would end in 2023 due to well, all of the nuclear bioweapons and a solar storm. But we're still here, so she has a second chance. If at first you don't succeed at predicting the end of the world, try again. It's the cult's favorite idea. There's no official recording of her premonitions and their veracity. However, the latest in, Baba Yaga's eerie predictions have resurfaced as her claim that the end of the world will start in 2025. Humanity won't be wiped out until 5079, so there's a good thing. I mean, hey, we're still gonna keep kicking for another 3,000 years. I mean, that's good. But the apocalypse will begin in 2025, allegedly, according to Vanya. We're gonna have 3,000 years of apocalypse? This seems kinda drawn out. I'm just saying, I mean, I'm not criticizing, but the end of the world's gonna take 3,000 years. Her timeline for the end of humanity, let's check this out. 2025, a conflict in Europe will devastate the continent's population. 2028, humans will begin to explore Venus as an energy source. 2033, the polar ice caps will melt. Rising sea levels will, just affect everything. 2076, communism will spread to countries across the world. 2130, humans will make alien contact. Let's see, 2170, a drought will devastate much of the world. 3005, the world will go to world war with a civilization on Mars. 3797, humans will have to vacate Earth because it's become uninhabitable. And in 5079, the world will end. So there you go. I'm just saying. Baba Yaga isn't the only one to have claimed to preemptively know when the world will end. Some claimed that the Mayan tribe predicted the world would end in 2020 because their calendar cut off on December 21st, 2012. Sorry, it was 2012. The Bulletin of Atomic Scientists also announced a yearly estimation with its doomsday clock. The doomsday clock this year was set to 90 seconds to midnight for the second year in a row, reflecting the continued state of unprecedented danger the world faces. Last year, the clock was also set to 90 seconds before midnight. It's the closest ever to midnight. Yeah, she was blind. Oh, for the love of goodness. She was blind, she just couldn't see where it was going. And I don't know what this is really about, but Wawa Superfan collects full set of order slips 0 to 99. Now, I don't know why he did this. This seems interesting, but these people trying to go for Guinness World Records, there are hobbies out there I had never even thought about collecting, order slips. I did not know was a hobby, but there you go. Everyone has to have their own little thing. A New Jersey man who considers himself a super fan of Wawa convenience store chain spent nearly 3 years collecting his order slips to get a full set numbered 0 not to 999. Uh, Barnegat resident Tyler Gerson said collecting his Wawa order slips started out as a joke. The collection just got bigger and bigger, and eventually I was like, now I need to collect them all. He was picking out the Pokemon of convenience stores. He said it took about 3 years to end up with at least one slip for each number from 0 to 999. I've been going to Wawa my whole life. I always start my day with a coffee, usually get lunch from there, sometimes dinner, he said. I get mac and cheese every single day. I get an iced latte every morning. Wawa is pretty a standard part of my diet. He said even with his frequent visits to the store, still needed to outsource some of the work. I would start telling my friends, hey, I need 212. If you find, order 212, please send it my way. He posted his slip collection on social media, earning a reply from Wawa saying, this is the level of dedication we're talking about. He said his focus is now on a project he began before he ever started collecting slips, taking a photo in front of every single Wawa location. Look, sir, this seems like it might be a little bit obsessive, but as a woman who has her entire adult bedroom, you know, decked out in Sailor Moon, I really feel like I am in a glass house and cannot throw stones. So you do you, sir. I have no idea why you love Wawa so much, but I've never been to one, so maybe it's something magical in that. Any hoozle, you guys, I am going to let you go. I am sending you over to Shizzy. I am going to go to bed. Well, I'm going to keep watching over the storms, but then I'm going to lay down because I actually Small personal goal, I'm trying to pick up on my walks, and I did a couple of intervals of like 30-second jogging, and, I'm going to pay for it tonight, but, uh, you know, I could do it. So, you know, if all heck break loose and Baba Yaga is right and we have nuclear zombies, you know, Imma shuffle hop a little fastly every 3 minutes for 30 seconds. Imma win. Now if it's the World Z zombies, I'm out. I They run real fast. But if it's just your regular standard run of the mill, slow zombies, I'm set. Next goal, cocaine bear. If I can get away from cocaine bear, that's my next goal, y'all. It'll be a minute for every 2 minutes. Have a great evening, you guys. Be kind to yourself, be kind to others. Go see Inside Out if you need a cute movie. It was an actually pretty good movie. It didn't have all the weirdness that most of the time it does, and it was pretty good and well made. I will see you guys in the morning. Have a great evening. Bye, guys.